All right.
Well, welcome. Hello there, Shannon. Shay.
I don't know why you do that.
It's just fun. I like to call people by their full names even though they hate it.
I don't hate it. Shannon. You're just so funny. When you pick your spots.
Yeah.
You just pick your spots. Weird.
I do.
But I love it.
Good.
But anyway, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're,
It's 2020.
remember our resolution was like, we're going to do better and we're going to like not procrastinate.
Started.
So this is the night before we're going to release this. So we're going to play the game on how we're not going to stall so Shay doesn't have to edit this.
Yeah, so what did you roll?
Pretty much.
How are you? You were sick.
I was sick, and that's also why the week kind of got away from me. And I was a little sick, so I did not sound very nice.
Yeah, it was a busy week.
Yeah.
It's been a busy 2020 the first 2 weeks.
It's been pretty insane. But no, I was sick, and then I just had to catch up on other shit. And then you were working out on the railroad all the live long day.
Yes,
But not the
you
railroad.
can call me Dinah.
There it is.
And won't you blow your horn? Yeah, I wasn't working on the railroad. I was just like digging trenches and laying pipe. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
No, I was laying pipes in a trench with my father and my brother.
It's bonding.
I was
like
shoveling a lot. I shoveled a lot of shit.
Did you?
I was like fucking working
your ass off.
my muscles off.
So you got a lot of
I
sunlight.
moved some traffic cones. I stopped some traffic. Oh, and the most
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Isn't that fun?
And they paid attention to you?
They did. They had to. I was wearing a hard hat and a vest, so they
you
had
wearing
to.
a vest, so you're like,
I had
all
to
right.
wear a vest and a
That's
hard
fair.
hat. And Shay, listen to this. What I also did, which I've done one other time in my life. I drove my dad's huge like pickup truck with a giant fucking trailer with a fucking tractor on it from Boulder to Windsor. And I did it.
There it is.
And I
Okay.
didn't crash.
Oh, well
And
then,
I
congratulations.
and I didn't even swerve into the lanes.
No swerving.
I looked in my mirrors like every 4 seconds to make sure I was still in the lanes.
You
I
were-
only yelled at one person to get the fuck out of my way because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm trying to get over. I have a huge truck and a trailer.
Why? Because were you doing 55 in the
No,
the
I was
passing lane?
literally, it was like the start of my trek. Like we were getting out into the street and I had to follow my dad because he was pulling a giant trailer with like an excavator on it. Yeah, hashtag excavator. And I was losing him. And so I was like, I need to get over. And no, I like my blinkers on for hours. And I was like, really? No one's letting me in? I have a huge truck and a trailer.
I will kill all of you. Yeah.
And then I was like, I guess I don't want huge trucks and trailers to come over. So now I have a new respect.
Do you? You're going to let every single one now over?
Not everyone,
Yeah.
but
You're not
you
crazy.
know, exactly.
Well, at first. So, like, this week, also, when I was sick, I got savvy because, you know, I'm a little poor, and that's fine. But I exchanged my little SSD card out, and I felt pretty fucking proud of myself that, number one, I didn't electrocute myself. Haven't even really had a quarter of that drink. Sweet. And yeah, and I didn't break my fucking MacBook. So I felt pretty nerdy and pretty proud.
Pretty nerdy and flirty,
Yes.
okay?
Well, always. Badly though. Anyway, so look at us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
New year, new us.
Yeah, who are we?
Hashtag just dumb broads. Yeah. It's fine.
Just figuring shit out
It's true.
one day at a time. So
Anyway, let's get this train moving.
So what'd you roll, Shay?
Well, it's been a minute. Nostalgia. Which I'm really hoping I didn't check before we started this, that I didn't wipe that information when I exchanged my memory card out, but we'll see what happens.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I
right.
did not.
I
But
think
it's
you're
fine.
good.
Anyway, so
you know what you're doing.
I know what I'm. Yeah. Okay.
You did.
It's
kind
fine.
of ish.
And what did you roll?
I think I rolled history, and we're gonna go with that. I did.
Perfect.
No, I did.
You did.
So yeah,
Awesome.
that's what I'm going to talk about today, and it's going to be a fun little brief history of something special.
Okay. Is that your cue for me to press a button?
Well, no. We first have to tell you guys what we're drinking.
Oh, I
which
forgot.
Is not
Sorry.
that special. It's it's different than last week's, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So Shay still had lemon vodka, so we used that because...
Okay, we're procrastinating.
And then we have Topo Chico and cherry bitters. And it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like what I want cherry limeades to taste like.
Not super sweet.
Nope, not even. You can't even taste the cherry.
No, you can't.
It's fine.
So perfect.
It's perfect. And it's delicious.
That's what we're drinking. That's what we're doing. And I guess we're going to fucking just get into this.
Yep. No mess ups.
Hashtag no mess ups. Hashtag no edits. Here we go.
I'm pressing play.
I
Record. Whatever. We're on now.
Hello, listener. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Well, here we are. Back to the show. So again, I rolled history, and like always, I'm gonna go first. And today, we're gonna do a brief history of jazz. Isn't that fun?
Is it because we're in the roaring 20s again?
No, but holy fucking shit. Okay. Duh. I talk about the roaring 20s.
You should have been like,
Oh
yep.
my god. Yes. I knew it had some relevance. Yes. I knew I picked it.
Somehow we always do. We're like, oh my god, what a weird coincidence.
I know. And this was like my third one I was going to do because I kept going back and forth, and I was like...
So, yeah, how did you land on jazz?
Well, in the last year, I've listened to jazz, like...
Taking tap lessons? I don't know.
I started taking tap lessons in the last year, and ragtime classes. No.
It's great.
I've just started listening to more jazz, like, in my 30s.
No, it's true. You hit that, like, it's like that late 20, early 30s mark, and you're just like... Oh, fuck. When did this happen?
I know.
But I do. I listen to some Stan Getz and get down on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really found that I enjoy it while cooking and also just, like, doing shit around the house. Like, it's just, like... I mean, there's so many different variations of jazz, which I'll go into. But, I don't know. It's just... nice little zippy. It doesn't distract you, but also doesn't
jazzy.
Like, it's just jazzy as fuck, you know?
It's true.
Just keeps you jazzing.
It does. Yeah. No, my parents used to listen, or my mom used to listen to it when like she would cook all the time. So I have like the warm fuzzies for it anytime I hear it. I'm like, just gives you that, throws you back, that nostalgia at least for me. Because everyone has like those smells or tastes or whatever. That's like a sound for me.
Yeah. I like
slamming back to my 10-year-old self.
This.
I will.
And please interject if you have any extra information.
I mean, I only know like 2 musicians, so sure.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about a couple.
Perfect.
And basically just the start and, I mean...
You don't have to give away. You could just talk about it.
Okay, I don't have to give you my thesis statement
You sure
yet.
don't. You don't.
Okay, thanks,
We're going to talk about this. And...
So, let's get into it, shall we?
Yes.
So, jazz basically was started by the African American slaves in the 17 and 1800s, and it was music that was influenced by European harmonic structure and African rhythms. And the music that eventually became jazz evolved out of a wide-ranging, gradually assimilated mixture of black and white folk musics, and also popular styles of the time, again, with roots in West Africa and in Europe.
All right.
Okay? So the customary instrumentation of jazz is like the banjo, guitar, and percussion.
Banjo? Really?
Yes, the banjo, yeah. And that derives primarily from the West African traditions. And then the European influences, that's where you hear the trumpet, the trombone, saxophone, string, bass, and piano. So it's like an inner twining of those things.
I guess I probably then, from that analysis, I probably listen to more European.
Yeah, and there's lots of different kinds of jazz, for sure. But like, it started in the United States. Yeah, the jazz, yeah. So anyways,
Okay.
jazz developed uniquely in the United States, not in the Caribbean or in South America.
So no steel drums.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
No.
Got it.
Wait. Fuck, we're not editing, are we? Shit! So, fuck, Shay. This is gonna be scary.
Even if we were, I would keep all of that in. But we're not. Because it is, I believe, 8:45. So, no. Take a breath.
Okay.
And pretend
so
that you're
we're just gonna
picturing
skip that?
everyone in their underwear. And by everyone, I mean not me and my cats.
Okay. Well, here we go again. So, like I said earlier, jazz grew from the African American slaves, and they were actually prevented from maintaining their native musical traditions. They weren't really allowed to, like...
Of course they weren't.
Of course.
Of course they weren't.
Of course they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to fucking sing their native
Anything.
songs and things. So they felt the need to substitute some homegrown form of musical expression. And that's
Oh, shit.
mainly
Yeah.
how a lot of it came to be. Although slaves who played such instruments as violin, horn, and the oboe were exploited for their musical talents in cities
they
like
were.
Charleston and South Carolina.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so jazz, as it finally evolved into a distinct musical style and language, there really isn't one definition of jazz. It's constantly evolving and changing. So, but it did start with, like how I just said.
Like how I
But
just
it is
spoke.
evolved into lots of different things, which I'm sure you guys know. There's lots of different forms of jazz. So, a lot of people think of jazz as just being completely improvised, but other people think of it as being composed and planned out. But in all actuality, it's neither. Like
like a
there are some
like a-
there are some jazz that is completely improvised. Wow,
It's fine.
but
I get it.
it's not completely one or the other. It's like a mixture of, it's kind of like a style,
Right.
if you will. You know, like doggy style. You don't have to
Just
go
like that
outside or
one?
anything.
You don't have to go. You could just do it inside the club. Perfect. That pertains on both of those things.
But yeah, so like I said, though it's so varying in its definitions nowadays, it's an undeniable genre that is all on its own. And Louis Armstrong famously said, when asked what swing meant, which is a type of jazz that he pretty much birthed, swing, he said, if you have to ask, you'll never know. So don't fucking ask, just listen, okay?
I love it. He's like, if you don't got soul, you don't got soul. Now watch me scat.
Exactly. And he was the inventor of scat.
See,
But
yeah,
we'll
no
talk about
shit.
that in a second.
Sorry, I'm foreshadowing.
And a lot of, like, to me, when I listen to jazz, I feel like jazz took musical influences from, like, classical stuff, too, but it was, like, it's like if you were playing your instrument, like, as your voice or something. That's how I would feel, like, when someone plays an instrument, like, it's like, you know, all the inflections that you get with jazz music, or, like, instead if you're just playing, like, a classical music, it's like,
Just like that. Just a cello.
you know?
It's a giant cello.
It's a giant cello.
Yeah.
But then jazz is like, you know, all the things.
I know what you're saying now.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't
all
figure
the
it
different
out, but
inflections. And
I figured it out.
You figured it out?
I figured it out, wild style.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And I think that's why I like it, because it's like you're listening to somebody sing without them singing. And it depends who you're listening to, too.
Yeah, exactly.
And
some people, yeah.
And I really only like ones, I mean, I'm not a big, I don't know, like, what kind of jazz do you like?
I like Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong, and, like, I don't like smooth jazz very much. I like the more, like, I don't like when it's super, like, crazy, like, whoa, like a roller coaster. I like when it's kind of like classy Christmas music-y
Yeah,
style,
no, I totally get what you're saying.
like
I'm a big
piano and some
Yeah.
like
yes.
you know,
So you
little
probably would like a lot of
hi-hat and
like you
stuff.
would like. See, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Mm-hmm. I don't like a whole lot of like when it gets super jazzy. I do not like smooth jazz. Like Jesus Christ, 'cause I'm not 57 years old, but
no.
you know,
No.
I don't listen to Yanni or anything like that.
Oh, I do. My mom used to listen to Kenny G and Yanni a lot.
That I forget sometimes they're not the same person.
They aren't.
Anyway,
They're both jazz, right? Smooth jazz?
I wouldn't call them anything. I
Who
would just
are they? Just nerdy white dudes playing the flute.
Yeah, just like with like the little picture, like those Walmart little silhouettes where it's like the head within the head, and they're like, "Here's my oboe."
What if them, like Yanni, Kenny G, and Michael Bolton made a band? I feel like they
I thought you were
all
gonna
are
say
the
made a
same.
baby. I was like, it would probably be the Antichrist.
It would, because that's not possible.
Oh, I just meant it doesn't matter. Okay, keep going.
Oh,
Jesus.
because they're boys.
I love that you went like well, duh, because it's not fucking possible, Shay. You're so stupid. This isn't science. I didn't roll science.
Yeah, I rolled history.
Sorry. Okay, keep going.
Just shut up, Brie. We're not editing this, Shay.
know.
I gotta go.
I know. God damn it.
So, where am I? Doggy style? No, we went past that. Okay.
Way past
just
that.
kidding. So, as we all know, most of us should know, that jazz was the start of a lot of popular music that we have now. AKA rock and roll is one of the main ones.
Right.
But it also, to name a few thousand, just kidding. There's bebop, swing, European jazz, post-war jazz, Afro-Cuban, Dixieland, hard bop, modal jazz.
I do not
free
like Dixieland jazz.
Yeah, no.
Blech.
That's that white shit.
It is.
Anyway, Latin jazz, jazz fusion, jazz rock, jazz funk, smooth jazz, acid jazz. Do you know what acid jazz is?
Sure don't. You just take acid and then just listen to some jazz and you're like, my face is melting off.
I mean, that's what I would think, but according to a reputable source, it was developed in the United Kingdom in the 80s and 90s and influenced
Time
by
magazine?
jazz, funk, and electronic dance music. It often contains various types of electronic composition.
So EDM and jazz.
Yeah,
is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like cutting and scratching and sampling and jazz.
That sounds like you're actually like dealing out some cocaine.
That you're on acid.
Yeah. It's dealing and scratching and
But it's jazz.
it's
okay?
jazz. Not your cocaine dealer.
When do you scratch cocaine?
I don't
To
know,
get
but
into
the
a
way that you
line?
just sounded like, yeah, that's what it just sounded like. You're scratching it with your little credit card and just, it doesn't matter. Okay. Not editing it, Shay. Not editing
on
it.
the podcast. Remind me to tell you a really funny story about my mom. Anyways, also, again, jazz influenced rock and roll, ragtime music, which I'm sure you guys have heard of.
Fuck ragtime music too. Holy shit.
The field hollers of the cotton plantations.
Well.
Hollers are a type of song. Remember I was talking about hollers? It's also a type of song.
Really? I didn't know that.
A field holler. It's like anyways, work songs on the railroads, rivers, and levees, hymns and spirituals songs. And also one of the biggest things, which I didn't know about, is like funeral jazz is a thing, and which started in the 1840s.
Is that like mostly done in New Orleans when they go and like have this big old party and
like I was
not
like
party but a procession? That's not
yeah,
the
it's
same
like
thing as a party.
parade for your funeral with like musicians.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want for my
I mean, it's
funeral.
badass actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes. So, from the years 1905 to 1915, it was a time of tremendous upheaval for black musicians in the jazz field. Even the many musicians who had been trained in classical music, but had found no employment in the field were now forced to turn to ragtime, which they could play in honky tonks, bordellos, clubs.
Make it sound.
And it's fucked up. Yeah.
They make it sound like they're like this high profile, like, which I'm sure they were. Not to disparage anybody, but like they like this high powered CEO, and they're like, now I'm working in the fucking gas station.
Yeah.
That's what, I have to settle for ragtime.
I know.
Which I'm sure every job has that kind of whatever.
Which I don't think...
Scale.
Yeah, exactly. So... But many of those musicians eventually drifted into just doing their own jazz. So hundreds of other musicians unable to read and write music had a great ability to learn it by ear and already had superior musical talent. And a lot of those musicians back in the day picked those up by ear, obviously. And they were just, I mean, a lot of it was improvisation. So they'd figure out how to play something and then they could just riff off of it and it would still sound amazing. Obviously.
Damn.
Yeah.
My cousin can do that. He can play by ear, which is insane to me.
Yeah. It's... I can figure out a song on the piano with one hand by ear. Sometimes.
Really? I can't even do that.
It makes me feel special.
I mean, I can learn chopsticks finally after somebody gives me an example for 45 times.
If you have the light up keys.
Oh, yeah.
So, just also, despite the fact that a limited set of instruments were available to the black musicians, and at the time they were typically clarinet, trombone, tuba, piano, banjo, and drums, the saxophone actually didn't become part of common jazz until...
Really? Till Bill Clinton?
Another decade. No. No. Like, in the 20s and 30s.
I got it.
So the term jazz, which initially was spelled jass, Jass.
Oh, I like that better.
Jazz.
I'm gonna go listen to some jazz.
It was also called jasm, having a jasm.
Having a jasm.
Something like that. But it was commonly used... It was originally a commonly used slang word for sexual intercourse.
I was like gonna say, isn't that like, because it sounds like orgasm, so... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was like...
They're like, yeah, that's how good it is. You're like, easy there, Kitty G.
Yeah, it meant like... Oh, fuck. Anyways, I forgot to write this down in my notes, but... Yeah, jasm was another word.
Jasm, that's a good one. I'm going to call it... If I ever had kids, I'm gonna be like, you guys, you gonna listen to some jazz? I'm just gonna give them all wrong terms. It'll be great.
Or, hey boy, my name's Shay. You wanna give me a jasm?
It'll be like, here's some... No.
You talking ragtime, girl? Let me tell you.
And then I'll be like, oh,
all right,
shit.
we're together forever.
We're together forever. They're like, actually, it was established and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Bartholomew, that's what his probably name will be.
Brie told me everything I need to know about jazz. Okay.
So leave me alone. And I'll disappear in the shadows.
So, wow. This is even more relevant than I thought because it's ironic that the first jazz recordings were made in New York City on January 30th, 1917 by a second-rate group of white musicians from New Orleans called the Original Dixieland Jazz Bands.
There it is.
Fuck you guys, okay?
Always.
Get out of here.
White boys always fucking it up.
They do. They're like, oh yeah, we are the originals, even though we heard all these other people playing it for years, but we're the original band.
Right? Mine!
Get out of there.
I called it first.
So those recordings, with their entertaining but substanceless barnyard sound effects... I wanted to directly quote that.
Wait.
Substanceless barnyard sound effects. Because it was Dixieland, like twangy, fucking
yeah, I don't like Dixieland.
Jazz.
No. It's white man jazz. I get it.
It presented a misleading picture of the true jazz that
no shit.
They all say started in New Orleans. But obviously it was not their same shit.
A little bit.
So, many of the early jazz musicians played in bars and brothels of the red light district in New Orleans around this street called Basin Street, and it was called Storyville. Was this area, and it was like the red light district, and it's where like jazz, some shady things were happening, but and also like the musicians.
And when was this?
This was 19 right before 1920.
So is this why it would get like such a bad rap like in the 20s when it was like, oh, you're going to be a little flapper and you're going to listen to that jazz, that devil music?
Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't Dixieland. Fucking bullshit.
Assholes.
So in addition to dance bands... Oh, I already said this. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
So at the beginning of 1914, Creole and African American musicians played in vaudeville shows, and those carried jazz to different cities around northern and western parts of the U.S. So it was starting to move more out of New Orleans, which is mainly where it was. So Storyville, however, did bring jazz to a wider audience because there were a lot of tourists that would visit the port city of New Orleans at that time. Right. And so it kind of made it more widestream instead of just like for African Americans and the people that listened to Dixieland.
They were like, whoa, holy shit. This music is way better.
But unfortunately, Storyville was shut down by the U.S. government in 1917. Shut down.
Of course it was. Why? Yeah. They're having too much fun. Shut it down.
Yes. So, so when Storyville closed in 1917, many of those musicians in the area went on to play in different places, and a lot of them went to play the Mississippi Riverboat orchestras. And one of the best and most famous of these orchestras was called the Fate Marbles Orchestra, and included a young Louis Armstrong, and that's where he got his start. Louis Armstrong. Louis, who am I? Louis Armstrong, go get yourself a fucking history book, Brianna.
Louis.
Oh
my God.
So at this time, like I said, New Orleans was beginning to not be the only place playing jazz. It was being practiced in places as far-flung as Los Angeles. They were starting jazz clubs in Kansas City, Missouri, and there were a lot in Denver, Colorado, and Colorado mining towns.
They knew what was up.
So from 1920 to 1933, the Prohibition in the United States obviously banned the sale of alcoholic drinks, which resulted in the speakeasies that we all know about. And they became very lively venues of the jazz age. And this was kind of like when the jazz age was, 1920 and 1933.
Right.
And these speakeasies would host popular music, dance songs, novelty songs, show tunes, and they would just have live music. And people could go secretly hang out, listen to music, and drink beer.
And that's why they
drink moonshine.
And that's why they were kind of known as like the devil fucking music, because it was associated with the illegal sale of alcohols.
So
dark time in America.
Yep. So jazz began to get a reputation as immoral, and many members of the older generation saw it as a threat to old cultural values by promoting the decadent values of the Roaring 20s.
Man, if only they were alive, like in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's like how like old people think of like, you know, all like newer music and shit. Like it's not the same, but it's like you guys just need to get over it. Times need to change. Okay. Henry Van Dyke of Princeton University wrote, "It's not music at all. It's merely an irritation of the nerves of hearing, a sensual teasing of the strings of physical passion," which
dear God, someone needs to get laid. Someone is wound a little tight.
Yeah. So
again,
the New York Times reported back then that Siberian villagers used jazz to scare away bears. Like, and then another story claimed
only they had a hold of like Little Kim's album like back in the early 2000s.
And then another story claimed that a fatal heart attack of a celebrated conductor was caused by jazz. Like, go fuck yourself.
That's
You're
amazing.
Just a grumpy old white
That
dude.
is probably some of the best propaganda I've ever heard. How amazing.
Yes. But enough with that. Back to Louis.
Killed him. Okay.
So in late 1924, Louis Armstrong was taken in by a man named Fletcher Henderson in New York City. And in this year, Armstrong matured into a major soloist, and at that time developed what we know today as swing music, or as swing. And his type of music that he played was so different from everyone else.
Absolutely,
that was the start of what we call swing. So more than that, Armstrong taught the whole world about swing, and had a profound effect on the development of jazz that obviously we all feel and hear to this day. And he definitely is considered one of the most influential jazz musicians of all time.
1000%.
And because he stretched over, like, he was a world's renowned musician.
Right.
Beyond his artistic and technical and I think I made this word up, so that's why I can't say it. Technicalness.
It's okay.
Armstrong should be remembered as the first superstar of jazz, which he definitely was.
I feel like he is.
He is.
Yeah. Although it's sad because I think if you ask any, like, you know, kids in, like, the Generation Y or whatever, X, Y, whatever it is, I don't even know what it is anymore.
Yeah, who are we?
But they won't even know. Well, we're millennials.
Yeah, we're
but
Generation X.
Is it
Z?
Y? It's there's Generation Z, and I think there's Generation Y. I don't know which one it is. Or Gen X, I think, is before millennials. And they don't have any idea. I mean, and they're like, like 16-year-olds. But I think when I was 16, I knew who Louis Armstrong was.
Yeah.
Louis. Damn it! Jesus.
Louis! God
damn it. You did it to me!
It's my fault. I didn't mean it.
We sound like idiots. I'm like, don't you know who Louis Armstrong is?
It's Louis. We know that. We know. So not only was he
most smartest, get a picture of that.
Not only was he known for his incredibly unique singing voice and trumpet playing, he often sang without words or texts and popularized what we know today as scat. Just kidding, that was not scatting.
But see, I don't really like that kind of jazz. It's not my favorite.
Sometimes I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I understand you're making up words.
I can do a couple songs for sure, and it's amazing. But
like some of it's really good, but some of it's like, okay, you need
can't
to stop for a second. Yeah, some like again, I don't like all jazz because some of it can be a little too like
jazzy,
all the fuck over the place for me. But I like the little like make the ones that makes you feel like you're like in an old club in the 20s. Which
I think I'm gonna let you.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but like I'm gonna let you listen to like some Stan Getz and see if you like that.
You should. So he also influenced a lot of different players in the jazz field that became super famous later on, such as obviously Billie Holiday.
Oh yeah,
and even pianists such as Earl Hines and Teddy Wilson. And it was in the 1920s that the first forms of true orchestral jazz were developed. And those were developed significantly by Fletcher Henderson, who took in Louis Armstrong, and one of my favorites, Duke Ellington. That's who I like. I like to listen to him.
Duke's pretty
and
cool.
What makes an orchestral jazz band versus a normal one is that it's like a full orchestra. It's like a 14-piece band playing
like Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah. So now we'll talk about Duke a little bit.
Okay.
He was known as a master composer. He mixed classical with pop, dance pieces, ballads. He was like the OG DJ Khaled. Okay? No, I'm just kidding.
Holy shit.
That is fucked up that I just said that.
Did he just scream out, Duke? I mean, come on.
I was making a joke, but like he was like
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, it'll be great.
That was like so disgraceful that I just said that. So I'm really fucking sorry. It was mostly a joke. But I was just, because he mixed like different kinds of songs, different kinds of samples of different, like he mixed like different genres into his style of music while he wasn't fucking, DJ Khaled literally doesn't do shit. No. That was a fucking joke. If anyone took that seriously, don't. And if you did, I'll slap myself because that was a horrible thing to even say out loud, and it was a joke.
I hope in 20 years some poor kid is like trying to like, I don't know why he'd be listening to this, but like he was like trying to do a report, and he's like, Duke was like the DJ Khaled of blah blah blah. My source was 30-ish, but it was spelled weird, so I don't know if it's in a reliable source.
So who really knows what this was? It's in the weird archives of, I don't know.
Yeah,
I found it in a time machine. What? I meant to say a time capsule. Same thing. Anyways,
Jesus.
Enough about my disgraceful fucking analogies.
There it is.
Jesus Christ. It was a joke, guys.
Sorry. I just couldn't help it because I'm just.
But you get what I mean.
It doesn't matter. Okay, yes, go on.
You get my comparison.
I do understand. He was like he really
same.
yeah. I get what you're saying though. He was just like I
should have said fucking
he was
Timberland.
Yeah,
damn it!
But he was just any type of DJ. Like back
He was like
then.
yeah.
He was a DJ. So
but way more legit because he
1000%.
literally had to make people play all the things that
really
were
was
mixing.
like an amazing DJ where he was just putting shit together and he was doing experimental shit and it was just
And he was like the first
killing
person
it.
doing
And he
that.
was killing it. Yeah. Unlike.
Never
mind.
His music in particular was considered formally and harmonically too challenging and at the same time too subtle for the taste of the average 1930s swing fan. So like people were like,
a lot of
what
parameters,
is this?
like
I know.
for music back
Yeah,
then.
those fans,
Christ.
I wonder why there were so many parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking dicks. Just kidding.
No comment.
So, Duke Ellington called his music American music rather than jazz and liked to describe those who impressed him as a beyond category. So, he had his own categories of special music.
Oh,
Anyway.
too cool for school category.
Well,
Got it.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
It's Duke motherfucking Ellington.
Well,
Okay.
That's fair.
So his big worldwide success with the public did not actually come, like, he was popular in the 30s, but his worldwide success didn't come until the 60s, when him and his orchestra made a lengthy annual tours all over the world. So that's when he, like, it was 30 years later that, hashtag 30-ish.
Hashtag 30.
That was just my ring.
Oh, I was like, are you okay?
Yeah. So 30 years later, he got his
He got
recognition. Yes.
He was in
So
the long
three
game.
other musical groups met with outstanding. There were other three. Hashtag no edits.
Got it.
3 other musical groups were met with outstanding success in the 20s as well. One was called Jelly Roll Morton's Red Hot Peppers.
Oh,
That is quite a name.
that is quite a name. I applaud them.
Red Hot Chili Peppers? Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Fucking copycats.
Big old copycats.
You guys aren't jazz.
not far from it.
You're Dixieland. Okay. No, they're not.
I mean, no comment. Again.
Also, Paul Whiteman's orchestra and William McKinney's Cotton Pickers were 3 of the most famous bands
Jesus.
in the 20s.
Cotton pickers. Great.
Yeah, great. Well,
Great.
they wanted to what? Roll. So
Jesus Christ.
okay, how is this drink doing? Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about a couple of ladies in
Duh.
the jazz.
Are we talking about Miss Billy?
Yeah, we're gonna talk
Best
about her for a
clueless
second.
joke
So,
in the entire freaking movie.
Oh, wait, what?
In Clueless, when he's like, he gets in the car and he's like, Julian, was that his name? The one that Cher liked, but he was
Sonny?
gay.
Oh,
I'm
Christian.
Like, Sonny? I don't know what this is.
Christian.
I'm sorry. Not Julian. He looked like a Julian. And he got in the car and he was like, I got some Billie Holiday. She's like, I love him. And then he's like, great. Just like how hard you're laughing. I didn't mean to.
That's because I'm holding in my drink.
Yes.
And then I'm laughing because I didn't hear you at first, and then I totally forgot about that part, so it made me laugh more. And then your face with the weird, like, face that Christian supposedly made that he definitely didn't make in the movie.
He did. He was just like, well, I think it was just
Like a horrible stink eye.
oh, you couldn't see it because he had sunglasses on. But you could see his face because he was like...
Are you sure they weren't on his head that day?
No, he was just like... But he was like, oh, you're cute because you're
'Cause
not
you're
aware
dumb
you're a
blonde
dumb
and I'm
blonde.
gay
And she was like looking in the mirror, she's like, I love him. And she was like,
that movie is so good.
and then he was like looking at her like, "Oh, whatever, it's fine. I don't care. I'm gay, so it doesn't matter.
You're gonna be real surprised when I'm gay, bitch.
Yes. It's amazing. Anyways.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So,
Hashtag Paul Rudd never ages. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
literally never ages.
No.
Looks exactly the same.
Absolutely.
Also, speaking of clueless, I follow Alicia Silverstone on Instagram.
as you should.
And it's fun.
Why is it?
She's very vegan and very vocal about it.
Oh.
Like, and her child, who I always think is a girl, but he's not.
Oh, is he like hissing in the corner because like,
No,
I just
he
want
just has
some meat?
very long hair.
Oh.
And, like, not that that's
You just
fine.
didn't know. Like,
It
he just has like,
They're just a special little vegan family.
are they like,
Just go look at some of her stuff. She's nice.
okay.
It's not Britney Spears, so we're fine.
Okay, that's fair, because holy
That's
shit,
another story.
whoever is managing her Instagram, shame on you. All right, go on.
Okay, so I'm going to name drop a couple.
Okay.
Obviously, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Betty Carter, Adelaide Hall, Abby Lincoln, Anita O'Day, Dinah Washington, and Ethel Waters were all huge jazz singers of their time, known for their incredible vocal talent.
Okay, okay.
So I thought this was pretty interesting. Women began playing instruments in jazz in the early 20s, and they mostly played a lot of piano. A lot of the women did.
Okay.
And also, when male jazz musicians were drafted during World War II, that's when the all-female bands were replacing them, and that's when all these female bands kind of got more popular.
It's like,
because the men were in war.
it's like a
Like, we gotta listen to something.
God, it's like a musical, A League of Their Own.
It is. Speaking
There's
of
no
League of
crying
Their-
in jazz.
No, there's not. So in the beginning of the 1950s, many women jazz instrumentalists were prominent, and some sustained even long careers. And some of the most distinctive improvisers, composers, and band leaders in jazz have actually been motherfucking women.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Don't forget it. So that's basically my very brief and
I love it.
special history of jazz.
I like it.
Obviously, there's so many more forms of jazz now. Oh, didn't even talk about smooth jazz, but we don't need to.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Just go listen to
I
your
used to
local
listen
AM
to smooth
station.
jazz when I went to sleep when I was like in first grade, second
Why?
grade, because I don't know. I like to listen to it and it will help me go to sleep.
Really? I used to listen to classical music because my kindergarten teacher used to do that like for our nap time, and so I would listen to classical music when I would go to bed.
You're a fucking
Freaking
brainiac.
Eine kleine Nachtmusik. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's fine.
What'd you just say?
It's something. It's something by Mozart. I don't even know. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Isis. Do you know what that's from? It's from Free Willy, which
Fuck.
I literally watched last night with Chris.
I know it's because it's on Netflix.
It is.
I almost watched it. I was like, oh,
And then
Michael
I listened
Jackson with the
to
River of Jordan?
Hold Me Like the River Jordan 17 times.
I hate how fucking catchy his goddamn music is. But I love it.
I know. That song is fucking
It's just beautiful.
heart-wrenching.
It is. but
It's not jazz, though. So let's get back. I'm
no.
almost done.
Okay.
So, since the mid-2010s,
Okay.
we've seen an increasing influence of R&B, hip-hop, and pop music on jazz, in jazz music.
Right.
And I don't know if you have Spotify, but like lo-fi jazz and like lo-fi beats, that one of those one of those like playlists is like jazzy hip-hop stuff. Also, like there's so many hip-hop artists and that like incorporate like jazz themes. Like one of my I don't know if this is true to the Roots definitely incorporate jazz.
Absolutely.
They're one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
They obviously incorporate different stuff too, but I just like they have a live I just love that live band with the hip hop and the I just think that is such I fucking love it. So Anyways, so basically there's a bunch of different kinds of jazz. Now you have a little, which I'm sure everyone knows a little bit about how it started, but now you know a little bit more.
I'm going to call it jazz.
And if you say you hate jazz, you don't really.
No.
I don't think that you do.
It's like
so if you're like, I hate jazz, and you're listening to this right now, maybe you should go find a different theme of jazz. Maybe you've been listening to Dixieland jazz, and I understand.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Maybe you've been listening to smooth jazz, and you just think Yanni and Kenny G are jazz. No, they're not. Go listen to some good shit.
Go listen to some Stan Getz.
Go listen to some If you listen to Louis Armstrong and that doesn't make you happy, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. His voice, just his voice alone. Mm-hmm. And his little little blowing of his horns. What? Okay. Again, that's all I have for you guys this evening. Not this morning.
Nope.
And
not even close.
I'm done, so it's time for Shay.
It is.
And it's time to...
You ready to get into your time machine?
I'm ready to get into my time machine and blast it back to I don't know what year, but I'm ready. Perfect.
Oh, because you didn't have a little thing on the back.
I don't have a safety belt on
like a
this
little,
chair.
Like a little baby. Okay.
Back.
Do you guys miss us?
You got that yummy yum, that yummy yum. Girl, you got that yummy yum nostalgia for me today, or what?
I do. Can you name a guess? It kind of has to do with my last week's topic.
So toys.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Good memory.
Wow.
But it's not on a list this time.
Is it the most dangerous toy?
No.
I don't know. Is it about Chucky?
No. This is, I did some research on the rise and fall of ToysRUs.
Oh.
Right? Are you still pretty sad about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
I
got some news for you toward the end.
Like, I would... You know what one of my favorite places to go is?
What?
In Fort Collins? The Clothes Pony.
I know.
The kids' toy store.
That's because that one is like... But you know, this is
So
a story
cute.
about how fucking, like, the conglomerate that was ToysRUs, like, crushed places like Toy Story, like Clothes Pony.
They did.
They were not about that competition.
They're like the Barnes and Noble of toys.
Which, side note, I don't even know how Barnes and Noble is still, like, active.
Yeah, how are they?
I don't even know.
Now, which is cool, now in, like, our day and age, like, the small and mom and pop stuffs are coming back because people actually give a shit.
Everyone's like, shop fucking local, yo.
And they're like, ugh, I don't want to give my money to these corporations that
Assholes
like own
that don't give a shit
pesticides
about.
that give us cancer and shit.
Yeah, especially not my toys.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I flash back to that science-y kit that you're like, here, make some uranium and find it on yourself. But we make it a game.
I was telling my friend Robbie how we were talking about his creepy crawlers and how back in the day it used to
be a hot metal
yeah,
like you could make molten lava
and
on
like,
accident.
You'd get high off the fumes if you were a child. I guess that was the toy soldiers, but anyway.
But I think also the creepy crawlers too, because the glue was the thing that made it like super. You'd be like, oh my god, my centipede is. I feel really dizzy.
My centipede has more legs than I thought.
It started with 50 and now it's to 100. Well, was that a centipede or a millipede? A millipede is... It doesn't matter. Okay. Not editing, Shay.
Millipedes million. Just kidding.
They have 1,000,000 legs.
Hashtag that was another joke, like the Duke Ellington joke I made earlier with DJ Khaled.
Well, forgive me. Your humor is a little dry today. God, okay. Anyway. Okay. Here we go.
I'm ready.
All right. So
Jeffrey, come on.
The giraffe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, that was his name.
It was, but
he's always a ToysRUs kid.
But did you know that he was a different name for a minute too? Oh, I'm gonna talk to you about that too.
No.
All right.
Did he have a past?
Well,
was he a murderer?
He was. He actually murdered all the children that didn't shop local
with his long neck.
Yep. He just bashed them.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a fucking giraffe attack a lion?
No.
On Planet Earth 2?
God
because
damn it,
you need to look that up.
Or
attack each other. Have you ever seen fighting giraffes.
I've
They
seen
just
that, which I'm
throw
like,
their necks
Jesus
at each other.
Christ, yeah.
Anyways, go on, Jeffrey. I'll shut up. I'm
Okay.
so bad at interjecting.
No,
and
it's-
by that I mean I'm good at it because I'm horrible.
I'm the best at being the worst. Okay, so at the year is 1948. This is post World War II, and what happens after that? The baby boom. So Charles,
Jazz?
I don't know.
This was after the jazz
talkies?
era, everyone.
Yes. So, Charles Lazarus sees an opportunity and jumps on it. He opened his first store called the Children's Bargain Town in Washington, D.C. in 1948. There were no stores dedicated to just children, so he decided to open a store in his dad's bicycle repair shop and renamed it Children's Supermart. But again, like, there's some argument that it was like Children's Bargain Town, which if you looked on like a lot of like especially in the 1990s ToysRUs signs, it said like ToysRUs and it says like the Children's Bargain whatever town, if you really remember that. So that was supposed to be like a throwback to his original store, which is
OG.
yeah, his OG. But it really wasn't a toy store yet. He focused just on furniture and shit. But
For kids?
for kids, so it's just like children's furniture, because that's what he saw. Like, a baby boom happened, all of his friends were having kids. I mean, kind of like right now for me, and they're just like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I'm gonna build you a crib.
Yeah.
And
Are you building cribs?
I am. I just go to IKEA and I upcharge him like $600. Doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway. But again,
I made this with my own hands. Don't look at the tag or the Swedish writing.
do not look underneath. And it might collapse on Johnny, but I'm sorry. You can make more.
I don't know if those pegs will hold up too much.
But wait till I'm out of town to really put your baby in it. They don't call it a cage for nothing. Okay, so, but again, that's his box. I've tried to buy him I'm looking at my cat right now. I have had this.
He's in his own crib,
this
which
is
is an Amazon box.
It's true, and that box is like a year old. And I tried to buy a bunch of beds and shit, and he's like, fuck you, Mom. That's fine. You're a dick.
That box is always...
It's been there for a minute, right?
I've never noticed, like, that's his box.
Yeah, I have not moved it because it's their bed. So, it's...
Hashtag self-employed life.
It's true. I'm like,
kidding.
that's true. But
No,
he would probably prefer that
he
than if I
would.
bought him a $100 bed.
No, he would.
He would absolutely prefer that.
was-
Because he's a dick. Okay, anyway. Okay, so... yeah, so it's not a toy store yet. He's like really capitalizing on like people that need baby furniture and all this kind of shit. And that's what people are coming for. And and again, there's not a toy store, or I'm not sorry, there's not a store like that yet. I mean, it's in it's late 40s, early 50s. The only other places that you're going to have that are like super expensive department stores, stuff like that. So
The toy store was at your house where the kids were breathing in lead and toxic fumes.
1,000%.
Got it.
And they're like, we can't do it all. So, so yeah. So yeah, so he was in there again. There were no Walmarts or Targets or any of that shit. So he was selling them like at these like crazy bargain prices. So everyone was flocking to him because they're having multiple kids. Well, they're having children, and everyone's just, whatever. Anyway, so
Everyone's fucking.
So a couple of years go by, and he shifts into selling toys, mostly because parents weren't coming back to buy new shit for their second borns. Surprise, surprise. In walks in the hand-me-downs, and we all know how we love about that. I mean, I didn't experience that because I was the firstborn. So
Yeah, fuck you.
So yeah, so they were not coming back for like second or third cribs. They're just like, it's fine. It didn't kill this one. It will not kill that one. We're good.
The pigs are still intact.
We're all good. So, anyway, so he expands to one other store, I wrote that really weird. He expanded to one more store up. I did not write that correctly. Oh, I did write it correctly. I just can't read good. Sorry, guys.
I don't read good.
He expands to one other store up until 1957, 1958, where he opens a 25,000 square foot discount toy store that offered a wide variety of merchandise.
That's humongous.
Right, but like that's like the size of like, I mean, I would think that actually kind of it's
Like a
pretty
Walmart.
small compared to like, it's like a smaller Walmart, you know what I mean?
25,000 square feet. I guess that's true, though.
I mean, you think about that. Like, that's what we go
That's
into.
true.
So,
Holy
and
fuck.
back
I've
then,
never thought about the square footage of a super Walmart before till
right,
today.
Right. So back then, like, that was fucking
It's like a city.
ginormous, right?
Yeah.
Because again, it was like the time of mom and pop stores. So
Literally, that's all there was.
right. So he offered a wide variety of merchandise and boasted prices like 20 to 50% lower than those of other realtors. So it was like,
he's like started
yeah, he was the very
bargain stores.
Yeah, he actually was like one of the ones. It was like called like a market killer, because he would just like fucking
monopoly. Yeah.
he would just saturate everything, and then he would just So he was actually one of the first ones to really kind of use that model, and it benefited him. So he was fucking making a killing. So it was like a big fucking deal, and he officially rebranded it to the ToysRUs name. These stores were set up like supermarket, like kinda. I mean, you remember them. Like, they were just like these
All
rows.
the
It was like
sections.
concrete floors and just like sections of just rows and rows and rows of toys. And like, I'm sure like back in like the fucking 50s, it was like, holy shit. Like,
And
that's
it's funny because those, like Walmart and Target and all those stores that he helped create took him out of business because they started selling, you know?
Oh, I'll get to that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's crazy shit.
Right. So, so instead of these cute little displays like the mom and pop stores had, and I'm sure you've gone into like the Clothes Pony, and like they're like this cute, like you could see like little Playmobiles, like brand and whatever. They set them up like a cute, like, and they're like, none of that bullshit. Just put them all up there, and like kids are fucking like stupid, and they'll just, I don't think he talked like that, but it was fine. You know what I mean? Like, he was just like, he knew that if he just like the more, it was just like,
It was in there.
it was just more impressive.
Visual,
Yeah. And kids don't give a fuck about the.
And there was literally nothing like that at all.
No.
then.
No. So it was just dazzling to like little kids. They just saw these aisles and aisles of toys. And another aspect that killed the local toy stores, or even the competition they had, what at the like department stores, was the fact that they were like selling year round. Like, they didn't wear like not just seasonal. So it became like a household name pretty quickly, just because, again, it wasn't just like the department stores where they just relied on those, Christmas sales or whatever. Toy Story took that game to another level, where it was like, oh, well, why would we? Doesn't matter, because we can go here, get all of our shit done in one stop, and we're paying like a quarter of the price. Which, it was funny because, like, yeah, toward the end, like, it was way more expensive to go to Toys R Us. So then what happens next?
Isn't that special?
Until it's not. So a little under a decade goes by, and things are looking pretty good for Mr. L, which I don't know why I said it like that, because I don't know, I just pictured him like being called that by his employees.
Okay.
Anyway, like, Mr. L, the sales on like Mr. Potato Head are up, and he's like, thanks, Johnny. All right. So anyway,
That is probably
if you saw
a direct quote.
I think it's because I've seen like so many pictures of him doing this research, and he just is like this cute little guy with like these big old like black glasses. He's just adorable looking. Anyway, so not like in a creepy way. So he's
Sure, Shay.
so he's reaching like 12 million in profits, which for like
Damn.
1966 is a good chunk of change. It's
In
like
profits?
in profit. So that's something like $94 million in today's money.
Oh my.
Yeah. In
He's like,
1966, he's like, I'm just going to buy America. That'd be
Get
great.
him.
That'd be great.
Maybe he should have.
I'll just go ahead and get this country out of debt. Well, you want me to write a personal check, or you want in the memo line?
No. We'll
It's
just-
okay. Anyway, so he sells his company to a company called not at 1966, Interstate Sales, for $7.9 million in 1966. But he's still with the company, and he becomes head of its toy division. So he's overseeing all the Toys R Us stores. But by 1969, I'm sorry. In 1969, Toys R Us adopts the mascot we all know. And I say adopt because you can see the giraffe in his if you look at old pictures, you can see the giraffe in like his very first stores, but it just looks like a giraffe or whatever. But he doesn't have a name. So But I guess so it was just like an unofficial mascot at the time. Jeffrey, the giraffe, which I thought was kind of spelled weirdly.
GEO?
Yeah, but maybe
That's
because...
how Jeffrey is supposed to be spelled.
No, but like, because like the Jeffrey, like my cousin Jeffrey is spelled Jeffer. Why? There might be another E in there, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But like, it doesn't, so for me, I think that's why it was weird, and I always like, I think I was always like looking at it and trying to pronounce it like phonetically.
Geoffrey.
And I'm like, Geoffrey. I'm like, that's not right. So it always...
Geoffrey!
It always just weird to me. Anyway, sorry. He actually was his original name was called Dr. G. Raff.
I don't know why that is so funny to me.
But I think it's a better name, but whatever.
It is. They're probably like, just Jeffrey.
Just Jeffrey.
Dr. G. Raff.
Dr. G. Raff. I'm going to send you some smooth beats and some smooth jazz. Why don't you come on down and play with them play school fucking like xylophone. It's great. Anyway. That's how I pictured Dr. G. Raff now after we talked about some jazz.
Dr. G. Raff.
I could see it.
Zoobadoo-wop-bop.
Exactly. So, he also got like a little...
He's a jazzy Jeffrey.
He's a jazzy G.
Jazzy Jeffrey Draft.
And I think he actually got like a little weird though, like in 2001, if you remember that. He was like an actual...
Oh, he got a little molesty.
No, not even... He couldn't with the hooves. But even if he could, no. But he was like
he could!
He was a real giraffe for a minute. Do you remember that? Where
yeah!
He talked and I was like, I don't like this. It makes me a little uncomfortable. I was like Ross, like when he was like, during that episode where...
Madagascar?
Oh, shit! Shit.
Ross was a giraffe, Shay. Ross was a fucking giraffe.
He was a
hypochondriac. So don't confuse me.
He was a hypochondriac giraffe, Melman.
Yeah.
And he would walk around the subway with his tissue boxes. Anyway. No, it's like it just... I was saying like it makes me every time that I'm like... I would see the commercial. It was like when Ross was like dating Charlie and he was... her old boyfriend. This is a super big tangent. I apologize, but like when it was the episode where it was like her scientist boyfriend came back into the picture. It was like Greg. I can't remember what his name is, and he's like, "Oh, let's make it a little uncomfortable." That's how it made me feel. Like every time I watched it, I just felt icky. It doesn't matter.
That was a really good Ross impression.
It wasn't, but it would have been better if I did a Melman.
When you said uncomfortable, it sounded like Ross.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
it's like when Ross was Melvin.
I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense because he was a giraffe. Okay, anyway, not editing.
Just bring it full circle, no editing, go.
It's fine. So he was like the giraffe was like a TV commercial staple, like we all knew he was. He even acquired a wife, Gigi, and children. Junior
I didn't know about her.
Did not know about her either.
I knew about the kid, Junior.
There was another kid.
Was it a girl?
It was.
We didn't know her.
Baby G. Yeah, we did not know her.
Why did Baby G?
But honestly, I did not know about even the entire... I didn't know about Junior, I didn't know about Gigi.
I feel like I knew about the little boy and Jeffrey. I didn't know about the wife, Gigi.
No, I didn't know about the whole family. And in the early 1980s, the store's TV spots became even more iconic with the catchy jingle that featured the self-identified Toys-R-Us kid.
I want to be a Toys-R-Us kid.
Yep, who did want to grow up.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys-R-Us kid. I get a little bit of the way you play with.
Yep, there is.
Boop, boop.
I don't know any of the words either. But I do know that, you know the jingle.
La da 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 Toys-R-Us kid.
And it was amazing. And they would skip off into the sunset.
Scooby-Doo up Toys-R-Us.
Yep, Dr. G. Bringing it back.
Dr. G.
So, 1970.
This is Late Night with Dr. G. We're Toys-R-Us kids.
Yes, exactly. This is Toys-R-Us Radio. So 1974 rolls around, and Interstate, that company that we talked about 45 years ago, has grown. Let me just repeat all of that, even though I'm not editing this. So 1974 rolls around. Interstate has grown the company to 47 stores, and despite having a $130 million profit for the year, they somehow lose $92 million of it and have to file for bankruptcy.
They took a couple of leisure trips.
Whoops. Just write it off, Barbara.
Profits of $130 million.
Yeah. Yeah, back in
And
1974.
people don't even want to pay chefs shit.
Nope. But they want to buy some plastic crap, and it'll break in 2 seconds.
It's made of lead.
But they're fine. Like, just make it like in a kitchen, like you're a chef. It's fine. Here's your little kitchen, Susie.
We sell easy bake ovens. You're on your way.
Here's this light bulb. It's just the same.
It's marked up 7,000%. So we make $130 million in profits. Anyways.
But somehow they lose it. Maybe too many flights on the company jet. Anyway, so, and the court puts Lazarus in charge of reconstructing. So, by 1978, he had generated enough profit to pull Interstate out of bankruptcy. And at this time, Lazarus regained control of the company, like, completely. And he was like renaming the chain again, like to ToysRUs. With the new name was written, it was always named ToysRUs, but what they did was, or he put the R backwards at that time, so it was never backwards the entire time. He put the R backwards that time, just to gain more attention and to just so it looks like a kid wrote it. That's why it was always backwards.
What a fucking marketing move!
Yeah, but that's why it was always backwards. But it was not always that way. So it wasn't until like the late 70s. After the first bankruptcy, that he was like, and then he wanted to kind of gain momentum and gain attention, and it was like, oh, it's made by a gal. Let's go buy it. Let's go in there.
Like, this guy was really fucking
he was really smart. He was super smart.
Because everything he did was not being done, and it worked.
Right. 1,000%.
Because it was different.
And he could, like, I mean, what a great time to, to be able to do something like this, because you're the first of everything. So no matter what you're going to do, unless you really fuck it up, like what obviously Interstate did for a minute, like you're gonna be profitable. So you could buy all like the golden toilets and the not just golden but like the pink toilets, because that was like a big thing back in like the fucking 70s and 80s. Just different colored porcelain, which was bizarre to me, but whatever.
Dude, I love that shit.
Just different.
My Nana's bathroom in her old house was like all blue
I was gonna say
aqua blue
was it
porcelain
like
and black.
I saw
blue and black
I knew a lot
tile
of people that had
porcelain.
Black, and I knew a lot of people that had navy blue. It was weird. But
anyway,
to each their own. Anyway,
that's dope. I want them to bring that back.
Right. Well, I mean, you could probably have it for like $1 million. So just win the lottery.
Sure.
So things are on the up and up, and they opened the first ToysRUs in 1983. We all know what ToysRUs was. It was the less fun ToysRUs.
Wasn't it close?
Yeah, because it was just close. So he kind of went back a little bit to his roots, where he was selling it was just close. It was not back to his roots yet.
But they did end up selling fucking furniture and shit.
Did they sell? I feel like they sell some
Babies
beds,
R Us.
but that's not yet.
Oh, we're not there yet.
ToysRUs was a thing, and I think I only remember going into a ToysRUs for like,
they were
one time in my life. There was only one ToysRUs. I think it was like in San Antonio that I remember. The ToysRUs that I knew, it was a standalone one in Austin, and it was like the one that had like the pretty. It was like the old school one with like the
big windows.
Do you know how like this is gonna sound like a really weird tangent, but what doesn't on 30ish, but whatever. Anyway, so do you know like how all the McDonald's for a long time they all look the same with that weird roof kind of side and like the white. I don't know why it always looked like that, but maybe it was just to catch your eye.
Yeah.
So the ToysRUs, like I don't know how yours looked, but I remember like the original model or whatever. It looked like it was like the kind of diluted rainbow kind of paneling, and then it had like that brown kind of shitty looking spackled roof.
Yes.
So that's what ours looked like until the day it closed. Like whenever this probably. Well, I mean, I wasn't there when it closed, but. Because that would be weird, but it was like that older kind of building.
Just crying.
Yeah, just crying. But it was just it was like the old, like it was like just that one. There was no ToysRUs attached to it. But when we did, I think I only went in there like one time, and there was all just like a bunch of shirts with like Jeffrey on it. I just remember that. Anyway,
fucking Jeffrey.
I
would have liked if it was Dr. G.
Geoffrey, because I don't know how to pronounce things unless I don't do it phonetically. I can't.
It's the British spelling.
It's. I guess
just
that's
kidding.
Fair.
Is that a thing?
That's what I keep thinking of. I think that's what I think of too now with Game of Thrones.
Which, never mind. You don't.
It doesn't matter.
I don't get anything.
It doesn't matter. We're moving
say.
on.
About Game of Thrones.
God damn it. Okay.
I just stared at Shay.
I know, really
which
hardly.
Is
and
what
then
that moment of silence was.
And then you looked upward, like in a
Silence.
guilty way. It was hilarious.
Moment of silent. What? Okay. Moment of silent, Brie. Shut up so Shay can talk.
So, again, things are going pretty well. Like into the 90s. It was valued at $12 billion in 1990. And at the height of its power, Toys R Us sold 18,000 different toys in approximately 1,500 locations around the globe and controlled 25% of the world's toy market. So they were fucking
They should have just gotten out when they could.
Well, as you say that, in 1994, Charles Lazarus stepped down as the company's CEO.
Good job, Charles.
Yeah,
you
he was
smart
like,
cookie.
I gotta go.
He was a smart fucking businessman.
He was a smart business guy.
I have to look him up.
Which I can't imagine how that must have felt for him to kind of watch this all kind of go down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like,
he
that
was
his baby.
I cashed out. I'm good.
It's true, but like from 1950, it sounds like he kind of really cared about the company, but I don't really know him, so.
And it obviously went downhill since he left it.
Yeah, I think just
but also because
I'll
of
let
technology
you know why.
and things.
Well, there's a big reason why. So it'd be interesting to see what would have happened if they didn't do this one thing. Anyway, so in 1998, Walmart beats Toys R Us for the title of the top U.S. toy seller for the very first time. In 2001, Toys R Us Times Square opens in Manhattan with a 3-story Ferris wheel, and a 20-foot high animatronic T-Rex. I never went into there because
why wasn't it a fucking giraffe? Are you fucking kidding me?
Because that doesn't.
They didn't want.
It's not
that
cool.
Didn't bring the kids
That's
in.
Jurassic Park, man.
Era.
It's a little bit after. I mean, Jurassic Park was like 94, but like little boys, like that's amazing to them. Anyway, so
what about the little girls, Shay?
I know, but it's not about them, I guess. Just, you know.
I like dinosaurs too.
Fine. So they aren't
I
in
liked
trouble.
Land Before Time.
Well, who didn't? You know, who didn't want to cry? Jesus Christ. I should do the story on poor little Ducky. Okay. Anyway, so they aren't in trouble yet, but they start to do some reconstructing. I keep saying reconstructing. Restructuring. Jesus Christ.
Shay just gave herself the evil eye.
I did. I was rolling my stupid. God damn. It's not that late. I'm not drunk. Okay. But that's the second time I've done that, so I apologize for being ignorant. Anyway, so they start to do some restructuring. So in 2003, Toys R Us closes all Kids R Us stores. I think I skipped over something. I did. I believe in 1997 was when Babies R Us opened.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong about that.
I was really worried about when you were going to talk about that. Because I vividly remember all those cribs because we went there to shop for my little brother.
Right. So that's weird. So 97?
Yeah, now he's getting married. Yeah, 90.
When was he born?
Well, he was born in 96. So maybe maybe later we shopped there.
Yeah, so that would have been the same time, though. Because, like, Babies R Us came out. But so, like, Babies R Us kind of went back to his roots where he sold cribs and shit. So I think that was 97. I must have erased it in my notes. But 97 is when they opened. Anyway, so,
Austin, we didn't buy you a crib until 1997 after a year that you were already alive.
We just put you in that box like my cat's in. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Austin.
Shay put you in the box.
I did. I didn't even know you, and I just snuck into your little room. That is terrifying. I apologize. I've never even met you. I apologize. Okay. Anyway, so in 2005, Bain Capital, Kohlberg, Kravis Roberts, and Vornado Realty Trust buys Toys R Us, taking it private in a so it was like on the stock market, so they took it private, and it in a $6.6 billion leveraged buyout deal. The plan is to boost sales and position the company for a stock offering in a few years that would let the investors cash out. So essentially, they took on like a $5 billion dollars worth of debt. So cool. Yeah. So it was like a grand scam to do, or like a grand scheme to do. Like, I think it was to just help. Like, it was like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be like, something like, why the fuck would you take on $5 billion worth of debt? But they thought like it was going to be a way that they could cash out, because they're like, we're in the toy business. It's going to be like a no fucking brainer. But like, they were hoping that their projected sales like are going to be better than what, that they were going to be fine, that they're going to cover that debt. But the problem was the competition started to ramp up and increase, and it fucked them. But honestly, so
who would ever take that on and think it's a good idea?
Because it was
especially in a changing climate of fucking.
But they didn't think that. They thought that they were untouchable.
The 90s?
No, it was 2005.
Oh.
So, but still, like, they
Y2K.
thought. But they. This doesn't even make any sense. Okay? I love it so much. So
it's like my Duke Ellington DJ Khaled joke. It doesn't make any sense at all.
2018 Y2K. Jesus Christ! I better set this computer's back.
You said 2005. So
I did, but like that was like the same thing. Like you could have been like, 2020. That 2000K though. The Y2K, 2000K. How old am I? Jesus Christ.
What are we saying?
I don't know. Just garbage. But anyway, so. But that's the cockiness of. But I mean, you see, like the changes that have happened between 2005 even to 2015, they had no idea. They really thought that nobody could really touch them. Like, yeah, maybe their sales are slumping a little bit right now.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, they're gonna still be on top. So they're like, you might take a little bit longer or whatever,
on top.
but we're going to definitely like be fine, and we'll be able to pay back this debt, and everyone will be happy, and everybody's gonna be rich essentially. So
maybe not so much.
So unfortunately, when this buyout happened, the competition starts to mount. Literally, mount that. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Okay, Amazon is gaining momentum.
Girl, you got that yummy.
Amazon is gaining momentum along with Walmart, and then Target entered the mix. So what do they do now? They buy more stuff. Talk about retail therapy.
Wait, Toys R Us bought more things?
Yes, because they're like, it'll be fine. What we're going to do...
we have $5 billion of debt.
But it's fine because we're going to just start eating up the other companies, and then that eliminates competition. Fucking stupid. So the company buys... So in 2009, the company buys etoys.com and toys.com. And toy retailers, KB Toys... we all know, love them. I did love me some KB Toys.
Peace.
Yeah. Although, like, oh man, you want to hear some nerdism? So I would go into KB Toys.
I do.
And I would look for the Star Wars Queen Amidala dolls. And I was like, for a minute.
I don't even know what that is.
You've watched Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little, like
Natalie Portman?
She played Natalie, yeah, the Natalie Portman played her. And
she played Natalie Portman.
She played...
in her
life. You know that time when like Padme played Natalie Portman? Fucking stupid. Am I drunk?
Wait, what's her real name? Wait, Padme.
It's Padme.
What's her full name?
I don't know
what
her
did
fucking
you
full
just
name
say?
Is. It's the character in the Phantom Menace. She's Queen Amidala, but her alter ego and her real name is Padme. But anyway.
Okay, got it.
So
now I know that.
Again, I'm a nerd, but it doesn't matter. So like I would go to the KB Toys and like look for the different ones, because for a minute I was like into collecting Barbies because I'm a fucking weirdo. I actually had like one of like some really old ones, which was really cool, but they really weren't that old. Get closer to the microphone.
I was
they
like,
weren't. I know you're like leaning over. I love it. They really weren't that old, but like they were like collector's items, but not really.
Yeah, leave them in the box.
It's fine. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get those Star Wars dolls, and it's gonna be awesome. Anyway,
did you KB Toys, Padme? You got one?
I think I got a couple of them. I think I only held on to them for like
different
a couple
outfits?
of years. Yeah,
Didn't she already only wear that one maroon and black thing with like the big thing on her head?
But then there was also like other ones, like she had different outfits and shit.
No,
so
she didn't.
No, she had like 70 different costumes. She wasn't like Princess Leia, okay?
She was better. Was she?
Well,
I don't know.
she was her
anything about Star
mom,
Wars.
so, you know.
Anyways, Toys R Us. And toys
I'm so
are
sorry.
we.
Anyway, I'm a tool. Tool are we.
I'm going to start a store called We Are Toys.
We are tools is what we should be.
We are tools.
Because that's what I feel like I am right now. Doesn't matter. Okay, so. But I do remember some KB toys, mostly because, like, it was, like, yellows and, like, it was, like, super cheesy, especially compared to Toys R Us. It looked like a fucking discount bin. Like, you remember KB toys. Like, it looked like a discount bin compared.
I actually don't know. I remember. I don't.
It was so small in
do.
comparison, but, like, it is sad there's no more KB toys. There's really no, like, big toy stores anymore. It's super depressing.
But
I mean, it's the same thing.
It's cool because they're small ones, but they're very
They
expensive.
are cool ones. But I guess, like, it's like, I don't know the last time I went into a mall, so I don't know why I'm just like, it's so sad that you go into a mall and you don't even see toy stores or CD stores anymore. But like, when's the last time I went to a fucking Sam Goody? Like,
Yeah, it's because we don't have a mall in Fort Collins.
No,
And
we
our
have
mall
just
is a
like a
piece of
revolving
shit.
door of like, it's like Victoria's Secret
It's
and
like
Bath and
a
Body Works.
It's like a fucking like ghost town.
It is. It's like buy some underwear that's gonna
But
fall
then their
apart.
fucking parking lot's always full, and you're like, why is no one here?
They're just sitting at Torchy's Tacos. I don't know. I have no idea why.
Guys, don't go to the Fort Collins Mall. It's very depressing.
Hashtag sponsor us. Okay. Anyway, so let's go. Jesus Christ. So
Foothills Mall sponsored.
So
We'll give you a
done.
commercial next week.
done. Well, have you heard like? Sorry. Oh my God. I will talk about that afterwards. I will not talk about that right now. Okay. So Anyway, so they buy KB Toys and FAO Schwartz. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, they bought FAO Schwartz?
Yes, they did.
And then they didn't? They sold it?
They just bought it because they're like, we're going to just eat up the competition. And I think FAO Schwartz was in trouble at the time, so they're like, that's fine, we'll just buy that out. But they're just like, why did you fucking do that? You were $5 billion worth in debt. And they thought, but in their brain, they're like, we're eliminating the competition. They were just scrambling at that point. So...
Because that's how they started. They're like, we're the only competition. We still have to be
right.
the only...
So they're just trying to like, because they have Walmart and Target now that's entered the game, and Amazon. Like that's kind
And
of.
let's not forget about Kmart.
Right. Which honestly, they actually Toys R well, duh, Blue Light Special. Toys R Us actually joined with Amazon for a little bit, and they actually had like kind of like a whatever thing going on. Back when
Relationship.
like back when Amazon was like like more like a booty call, you know what I mean?
They're like fuck buddies.
Yeah, they're just like, we're gonna call
Amazon's
you.
like, I need some toys.
We're gonna call you, but we're not like in a relationship. Like, don't hold my hand, like in public. Like, no, that's not kosher. Right? No, that's not cool. So anyway, so what happened with Amazon? They were like, well, we're not official, so I'm gonna go date some other bros or whatever it is. Is it a bro? Is it a girl? Is it a guy? I don't know. Anyway. Doesn't matter. They could be gay.
They.
I don't know. It's a they. It's a they be. So they went and dated somebody else, and Toys R Us got a little jealous, a little mad. They actually tried to sue them and all this kind of stuff because they felt like they were in a contract. But they're like, "Bitch, you did not put a ring on it. Get the fuck out of here." So anyway, my analogy is better than your DJ Khaled, so whatever.
Way better.
So anyway.
1,000 times because mine was a joke. Yours is real.
That's fair. Anyway, so they're doing Amazon now is doing their own thing. They're free and independent. Doing
Are
their
they?
thing. Yeah. And so they're just trying to eliminate what they can. So they're scraps. So anyway, so
Scraps!
they're taking on more debt, and they're like fucking drowning. So
Let's just keep taking on billions of dollars of debt. That's a smart
fine.
move.
It's fine.
I even know that's dumb.
So even if they were selling like $1 billion in sales, they were only generating like $35 million in net profit, which is amazing still. But they
Not
were
for the caliber of what they had.
right, but they were never going to catch up to the billions they had in debt, and the sales weren't increasing; they were like decreasing because of competition. So even though they were like, so if they hadn't acquired that debt, they
Would have been fine.
They probably would have been okay. Like, yeah, they might have been struggling a little bit and not making as much money, but maybe they would have gotten to reinvent themselves, but they didn't have the cash anymore. I mean, they were just fucking dying.
Yeah.
So 2015 rolls around, and they have to close Their store in Times Square, and it just becomes like the beginning of the end.
Where'd that Ferris wheel go?
I don't know. They probably took it to Neverland. Wait, what? Okay, so sales continued to decline, and another attempt.
Hey, Michael, do you need a Ferris wheel at Neverland for the children?
In 2015, he probably was dead at that point, wasn't he? He died in 2013, 2014?
Yeah.
I can't remember. He went across that River Jordan. All right, so sales continued to decline.
Crossed it.
And another attempt, hopefully you drowned in it. And another attempt to restructure was proposed in 2017. But unfortunately, the decision to liquidate the entire U.S. division happened in March of 2018. So,
I remember.
Do you remember that? You remember that? I remember the one.
That was last 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago, and I remember going into the Fort Collins one just one last time. Because Toys R Us for me, like I remember vividly the store in Austin, the one that I went to all the time. That's where I got my N64 came from my parents, but that little N64 right there, that came from a Toys R Us.
It says it right here.
It
engraved.
says Toys R Us.
Jeffrey signed.
He was like, "Here
Dr.
you go,
J.
Dr. G."
And by J, I mean G.
Wow, we're just knocking it out of the park today.
Hey, fucking Gigi signed it too. And Baby Bop and Barney and fucking BJ.
Don't toy with my emotions like that. You know how I feel about Barney. All right. Yeah. So that happened in 2018. And Lazarus died of respiratory failure on March 22nd of 2018.
Damn.
At the age of 94. So Lazarus' death occurred just one day before Toys R Us began liquidation sales in the United States. Isn't that crazy? It's like he died of a broken heart.
Isn't it ironic? That's fucking
Isn't that crazy?
He knew. He was like, I can't see this.
Yeah. So
this was because literally as soon as he left, they fucked it into the ground.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened.
Everything he built.
Well, of course
he died before all this shit.
That is exactly what happened.
His soul needed to leave this earth.
Yeah, that's what happened with like the Interstate company. When he sold it, it went into bankruptcy a couple years later, and then he had to bail him out. And he was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm 94 years old, jackasses. So
I gotta go.
So
can't watch this shit no more.
So some of
fucking my life up.
Right. So some of the international divisions did stay open, and I believe continue to this day.
So there are a couple rogue ones.
Little rogue ones. Not like Blockbuster, but like they're actually like legit companies.
That's good.
But do you want to know what?
Jeffrey's not there.
It came back to the United States. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that until I started researching this. So I found out I also found out that 50 Cent rented out the entire Toys R Us store in New Jersey for $100K.
Get it, Fitty?
For his little boy, and he went, "You can have whatever you want."
That's T.I., but that's okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize.
He didn't say that. T.I. did. Okay.
He was the only one in the entire universe to say it. So,
oh my God.
In October of 2018, a holding company called Jeffrey LLC won an auction for Toys R Us assets and trademarks. So rather than sell it off for parts, Jeffrey acquired Toys R Us and Babies R Us. And later that fall, it set up Jeffrey's Toy Box pop-up stores, which I never saw any of those. But they set him up in 600 Kroger stores in like nearly 30 states. So there could have been
Supers?
Yeah, so there could have been one here, but I never saw one. No. Jeffrey LLC also shifted its name to True Kids Inc. and Toys R Us was reborn. In July of 2019.
Business is fucking weird. The thing, like, it's just like, oh, well, we'll just reopen as this, and then we'll acquire these
Yeah, they're being very cautious.
Exactly.
Too.
There's just the loopholes in business, like.
Yeah, it is.
It's
but they bought it. I mean, like, so they there's no more debt to it. I mean, they didn't have to pay it. So they're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna just buy the name, and I'm sure it cost them a pretty penny because it was Toys R Us. And
what if they didn't do the R backwards?
They did, I think. And honestly, also, I think, and who knows what it could have been like, the debt could have gotten, there's probably something to do with like to be able to get the trademarks. I'm sure any Joe Blow could have grabbed them and bought them and just opened at Toys R Us stores.
Yeah.
But they were the ones that won it, and they, instead of like, again, selling it off for parts, they were like, we're gonna fucking reopen it. So they shifted into,
because that nostalgia nerve will hit,
because they knew it. Like everyone loves good nostalgia. They just do right now, because everyone just like fucking hates the world around them right now. I don't like, do you ever win? Like who wouldn't? Anyway, so in July of 2019, True Kids announced that they would open 2 stores at the Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas, and the Westfield Garden State Plaza in New Jersey. So, nice. On November 27th of 2019, the store in New Jersey opened, and in early December, the store in Houston opened. So they've only been open for like a
literally
month.
What?
Yes, yeah, so
that's exciting.
Just fucking opened.
Are we going?
We should.
We're gonna see Beyonce, and then we're gonna go to Toys R Us.
Perfect. So, the company says they hope to open 10 more stores like within this year, of 2020. So they are 6,000 square feet compared to like when they closed, they were about 40,000 square feet. And the stores are set up almost like boutiques. So they're almost like doing the mom and pop thing now.
That's cool.
Also,
they should like sell old toys.
That'd be kind of cool, right?
That'd be dope.
I remember like there was a toy store.
I don't know how you can do that, but.
Well, there was a toy store in Austin for a long time. They've shut down. Well, they've moved to the freaking, it's not even what it was. It was called Toy Joy, and it was like a local store, and it was really cool. And they sold like old ship. They also like just like the retro cool toys. They were like big on the Playmobil stuff. It was a cool toy store. I loved it. It was so fucking cool. It was one of my favorite toy stores in the whole wide world. Super sad when they shut down, but like everything else in Austin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so
Austin, Texas.
Fucking Austin. So wait, doesn't Caddy like live by Houston? She should go.
No, she lives in Corpus Christi right now.
She should make a road trip.
Caddy lives
go make a road trip.
No, he lives Dallas. Wait.
Oh my god. Tell her to go make a road trip to Houston. It's like, I think, a 2-hour drive.
Okay. From Corpus?
I think. I could be wrong.
You can tell her right now.
Oh, well, that's true, because she's listening. Go make a trip.
She might not listen for another couple months, but
that's fair. I know she's a busy lady. Okay, so hey, stop it.
That's the cat scratching at the door to leave it.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be near us anymore.
No, he's done. Okay, he must go sit on the couch like a fat ass. Okay, so they're set up like boutiques instead of like the vast grocery store like aisle setting. They do have like some couple cool things. Like they have a Nerf gun testing area, which is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a treehouse.
Have Nerf gun ranges. What the fuck?
Right? Well, I think that's just called paintball, but that's cool. So there's a treehouse in the center of the store that the kids like can climb and go play in.
Okay, I'm down for that.
A sandbox filled with kinetic sand that they can play with. Cool. And like a Lego play area, which I'm sure is like a nightmare for any parents. That it's like PTSD with like,
or for anyone that works there.
Oh God, can you imagine? They're gonna do like they're going for like a more interactive store. Their website is powered by Target, so it's ToysRUs.com, and I like because that's what I was like, oh my God, so I put in ToysRUs.com and it pops up. It has Toys R Us as Jeffrey the giraffe and everything, and when you're clicking on stuff like when you're ready to buy something, it'll be like powered by Target, so it'll shoot you to the Target website.
So is Target like
they partner with them to just make the brand come, which I think is very cool.
Good job, Target. Smart. You guys are nice.
So it's kind of cool to be back on like ToysRUs.com. It's like nostalgia as fuck.
Do we get a catalog?
I don't think so. I don't think that they're being.
It's not as big.
They're being very, very cautious because they're even like, we're not gonna fuck it up.
Do they have new owners? Because those last ones.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. True Kids is a completely different company. They bought the trademarks, and so I think
they're like, you guys fucked this up.
Like
real bad.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna take on $10 billion worth of debt. That'll be smart. So they're being very cautious. The new stores do look. I mean, they look pretty cool. They're very different. It's like a big facelift, and hopefully they'll work out. Because I mean, how cool would it be to have just Toys R Us just be around?
Toys R Us with my nephew.
That'd be really cool. So maybe one day, like,
or myself.
The Toys R Us here in Fort Collins will open again. Who knows?
Maybe where the old Kmart was.
Seriously, although they should just tear that shit down because that shit probably smells like pee and rats.
Shit needs to be like a fucking meow.
It needs to be. There probably is an actual meow wolf in there. Dude, stop. Oh my god.
That is literally the cat, if you guys heard that.
So loud. I'm sorry. It's like he takes his entire paw underneath the door and just like goes, "Hey, where's my money, Lebowski?" I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
You better calm it down there.
It's true. All right.
Mr. Colonel. All right, guys.
That's all I have.
Welp.
It was kind of a long one. Sorry.
Hashtag no edits. We're going to roll now.
Yep. We are going to roll. Here we go.
I'm roll on fucking mushrooms.
Always.
Wait. That's what you roll on. Is it? Now I don't know.
Wow. We've gotten a lot of things wrong.
We don't know a lot of shit. What? 6.
Ooh, I haven't had that one in a while. What's that one?
What is 6 food? No.
I feel like that might be paranormal.
I think it is too. We haven't gotten paranormal in a while.
I know which one I think I'm going to do too. If that is indeed my... That's not
I don't know if it's paranormal.
That's... Oh. There it is. That scared me. It is! Yes.
Paranormal.
I can finally soothe my inner soul and talk about murder. 4. What is
that history?
Yeah.
It is?
Yep, you get to do history again.
It's hard.
Dude, your history expression is like my science expression. Like,
no,
can
but I
just
do
get
like
a trifold thingy and
I like history, but then I never that's
you procrastinate. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I procrastinate, but I also am like, what do I want to talk about? There's so many history stories.
Just pick one.
Do you want to know a funny story?
Always.
I almost did the real history of Christopher Columbus because I legit thought that
that's a good
Columbus Day was in February and it's in October.
Oops.
I was like, that'll be relevant. I'll do Christopher Columbus because he's a jackass.
I thought it was too, but I think I'm thinking of Martin Luther King, which are two very different people.
Martin Luther King is January.
So he's...
February, I swear, was Columbus Day.
Maybe that's your little history that you just can do.
Martin Luther King. Mm-hmm. I know, I almost did him today, but then I was like, I can't do that. I can't procrastinate on Martin Luther King.
No, you got to give him some good facts.
Gotta give him the time.
So
maybe I will because Martin Luther King. So if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna be 31. So technically, I'll really be 30-ish next Thursday,
way 30-ish,
which is the 16th of January, and it's always like Capricorn. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Mm-hmm. Usually, well, it's not the same day, but it's always around the same time.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like a dummy. But I didn't know the song Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder. You know the song? How does it fucking go now?
I don't know.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. You know that song by Stevie Wonder?
Right.
It's about Martin Luther King.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that till 2 weeks ago. And I was like...
I didn't know that ever, so
and then,
you're fine.
But it makes sense. It's like, why would he just sing a song Happy Birthday?
Just because he
Why would he make a mainstream song singing Happy Birthday?
Because he's Stevie fucking Wonder. He can do whatever he wants.
I know, but I just was like, oh my God, I feel so... I didn't know
Don't feel stupid.
Because I never listened to all the words. I've listened to that song, but I never listened to the words. And I was like, why did he say something about Martin Luther King? And then I was like, oh, duh! Because this song is about his birthday and how we celebrate his birthday because he was such an incredible human being.
He was.
And he deserves that.
Everything.
Anyway, okay, maybe I will do that.
It's a good one. Or won't you? Be a surprise.
Or maybe I won't.
Who knows? Okay.
Well, either way, we're going to say goodbye.
Yep.
And if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, you should.
You should, definitely. Even if you don't want to.
THURDYISH. Also, if you ever see anything we post,
fucking like it.
Give it a like.
Please.
Give it a love. Also, thanks for listening to us. We like you guys.
A lot. A lot.
We love it. We love being able to do this. So thanks for helping us out. And happy 2020. We're in it to win it, y'all.
Is that how we're signing off?
Sure. And have a good night.